Drew, all lives matter. But in these crucial situations, black lives gotta matter. To black people. For a long time, we ain't been equal. This is Wisdom by Drew podcast. My guest today is no other than DK. I know him, Donnie Kite, owner of Ikewear. Thank you for having me in the store today, man. I appreciate you, man.
Oh man, you're more than welcome, man. It's an honor to do.
No problem, man. Before we get started, man, I want to give you your flowers because people don't give people their flowers until they're gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to give you your flowers because just shaping me as a young man, because I grew without a father.
Yeah.
So we watched y'all growing up to learn how to be young men out here and how to conduct ourselves. So I just want to appreciate you for that.
You're more than welcome.
So I just want to give it a go. So what inspired Ikewear? Like, what was the reason for starting Ikewear?
The reason, to be honest, was me trying to make the transition from out of the streets.
Okay, so you're just
That
trying.
was my reason. Being in the streets, what I can really say was probably like a waste of time. Really realizing that I ain't the avenue that I wanted to go, and I had to figure something out to go in a different direction. And I'll be truthfully honest, man. I had caught a case, and when I went to my hearing, the judge was like, "Man, if you come back in this courtroom, we're gonna give you X amount of time." I made my decision right there. I said, you know what? He ain't even got to worry about that. He'll never see me again. So when I came out of that courtroom, I went to a spot that I used to hang in, which people may be familiar with. It's called the Crazy Court. I just started jotting down my ideas and my weight right there. I said, I'm changing. It's over. I'm going in a different direction.
That's dope. That's dope. At least you learned about that early, so you didn't even have to keep battling with it, back and forth to jail and all that bull crap that you go through. Okay, on Wisdom by Drew, there's a segment. It's called Wake Up and Be Awesome. They're Wake Up and Be Awesome questions. So I got about 9 questions that I want to ask you.
Okay.
And answer them how you like.
Okay.
Just want to give you a little. I read them verbatim out the book. So my first question is, what's one thing you wish you would have known before you begin the clothing industry? What's like one thing you wish you would have known?
One thing I wish I would have known was really being connected with the manufacturers, from the beginning, because the advantage with the manufacturers, they give you your tags, your official tags in your clothes, and then the numbers are not a lot lesser. So it increases your profit margin. Generally, within the States, I hate to say it, a lot of times it's a lot higher than, sometimes you got to price your stuff higher. Okay? And me always trying to make it reasonable. I want to keep it reasonable, so that's what I wish I would have known from the beginning. It's really knowing to be plugged to manufacturers.
Definitely. So you got your numbers right from the start.
Yeah.
All right. Number 2. What was your biggest failure and what did you learn from it?
Biggest failure? Let me see, because biggest failure. I'm gonna say not being consistent is the only thing that I battle with, is not being consistent. Being up and down. And that just happens in life, period. Being ups and down and not being able to deliver a lot of times when the people was needed it, to me was a failure to me, because I couldn't deliver.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Okay. So that was to me a failure, not being able to be consistent enough to keep delivering when people need it.
Alright. Number 3. What advice would you give someone wanting to pursue a career similar to yours? Like a young kid coming up talking about, I want to do the whole clothing thing and I'm trying to be a designer or what have you, whatever the case may be in this field. What's like one that,
as they say, and I would say, is you want to do the research, and before you get into what you're about to get into, do the research, which could be me, investigate me, and see how I got into it. And the main thing I always say with any entrepreneur, with any idea that you have, and a lot of people do this, just start, man, just start. You know what I mean? Do the research, look up your name, make sure it's available. If it's available, protect it and start. Just start. That'll always be my advice to any young entrepreneur coming up. You got the idea, protect it and start.
so young people, if y'all trying to do some entrepreneurial things, just get into it. You might stumble along the way, but you gotta get into it to know what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
So definitely get into it ASAP. Number 4. What are the best resources that helped you along your way?
Best resources? The internet. The internet, surfing. I used to be on the internet. I worked the night shift. I was on the internet all night. I wasn't on my job. So now I was on the internet all night. Just searching, looking for resources, looking for different things, looking for different connects. And that's how I ended up finding some of my manufacturers. Always was trying to plug and look for a better way to bring more quality stuff, still at a reasonable price. And what I have it right now is with my official tags in it, because I used to didn't have my tags in it. So that's all we're doing. The internet helped me a lot.
Okay. So internet, trying to start something great like this Iquid organization. Take control of that internet and use it to your advantage. So number 5, who are the 3 people who've actually influenced just life in general? Like who's influenced all this stuff that you got going on?
It's a combination. One that inspired me is 2 people. One was Fubu, because if many of y'all don't know, it was a store called Dress Up downtown. Okay, you remember Dress Up?
I don't.
Might be before your time. It was a spot that we used to go and get urban clothes. And I went into Dress Up. It's my first time seeing Fubu. They had a little card attached to their jeans. Nobody knew nothing about them, really. And in that card was the story of how Fubu started. When I read that, that really gave me the encouragement to push for what I was trying to get into.
And I was a black guy. I know who started it. I seen it on this little show.
4 or 5 of them. Yeah. Actually, they was all at a round table, and it was such an inspiration for me to push it. It was right on time, because I was already headed that way. So when I seen that gave me more the encouragement to go in that direction.
That's definitely how inspiration works. It drives that envelope and it make you work hard for what you want. So number 6, what is the most common myth about being a clothing designer, clothing owner? What's like the typical thing that people talk about?
Myth? I'm not sure. I ain't really heard no myths, but what can I say?
All right, well, what the naysayers and the haters say about you doing this great thing here? Yeah, I know you got haters, man.
Yeah, well, I definitely got haters. They always say you could do more, or they always saying you can do this. Once you make an airplane, if you make one thing, then it's like, all right, so I got the shoe. It's like, what's next? Like, you got the shoe. Now it's like, you gonna make an airplane?
You got Iquid Airlines.
Yeah, airlines. which I wouldn't mind doing, but they always looking for something more.
They're not appreciating what's great, what's here now.
What's already here. Exactly. And I say to I ain't gonna lie, a lot of times I'll look at them and be like, sometimes you're not even supporting what I'm doing now. So what I'm pushing now, support that, and then that'll help me get to where I need to get, maybe get the airline.
Exactly. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay, number 7. If you could step into my shoes, what's one question you would ask yourself? What's one question you would ask yourself if you were the interviewee?
Being an entrepreneur. I would have to ask myself as an entrepreneur.
Yep, you would have to ask yourself. If you could step in my shoes.
You already asked it, which was what made you want to be it, but I would say, what is the benefits of it, being an entrepreneur? I would have to ask you that.
Okay.
What is the benefits of being an entrepreneur?
Okay, number 8. Where can the people connect with you? I know there's a whole bunch of people out here inquiring about Iquid. Where can everybody connect with you? Whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, whether you got a website. Just tell the people what they can expect, or how can they go get the merchandise.
Yeah, you can get the merch at this location here, which is Marley's World Boutique, 2101 Center Avenue. We also have the website, which is good for all the out-of-towners or anybody who just don't feel like coming in, which is Marley'sWorldBoutiques.com. You have to put an S in it for the website. Also, you can reach me on Facebook. My original name is Donnie Kite, and Instagram is Iquid36.
Okay, so there you have it. If you need to get something online and you're not sure, he just gave you all the rundown, so you can go purchase it without even coming into the store. Okay, number 9, which is my last question. My podcast is Wisdom by Drew Podcast. Wisdom being a key word. What does wisdom mean to you?
Wisdom? Oh, that's a tough one to explain. That put me on the spot. But wisdom, as they say, is knowing what you know and then knowing how to apply it in life. Okay, is wisdom. Because you can know it, but you don't know how to apply it. You have to be wise on how. Yeah, it's just sitting there. You have to be wise on how you move. you know, which is a real part of wisdom. Knowing how to move with the information and the knowledge and all that you have, to me, is wisdom and wise.
Well, we're going to wrap up this segment of Wisdom by Drew podcast. I want to thank DK again for extending the olive branch, letting me come out in this busy afternoon.
You're welcome.
Thank you again. We'll be doing business pretty soon.
Thank you, bro. Thanks for having me.
We bees out. Have a good one. Drew, all lives matter, but in these crucial situations, black lives gotta matter. To black people,